For each of the first 10 seasons of his career, he took the mound wearing the colors of the Houston Astros. 143 wins later began the next phase of his major league career. Out of Texas and into the Phillies rotation, Roy Oswalt finished 2010 in dominating fashion. The third of the Phillies' top-notch arms begins his 11th straight season on the same field as the Astros. But the agenda is different. The Phillies' dream rotation is becoming a reality. That's right, this is Game 3 of the season, and Roy Oswalt is the starting pitcher for the Phillies as they get set to go for the series sweep against the Houston Astros. Hi, everybody. I'm Tom McCarthy, along with Chris Wheeler. Sarge will be joining us momentarily. It is strange to say that Roy Oswalt is the number 3 starter, at least day 3 starter for the Phillies wheels, but that's the case today.
He's not used to waiting around to pitch this long, Tom. You know, normally he's the opening day starter for the team he belongs to, that being the Houston Astros for so many years. Roy Oswalt, one of the best pitchers in Major League Baseball, in the 3 spot in this Phillies rotation. You see Roy Oswalt's career and what he was able to do with Houston and then what he did with the Phillies last year. Lost his first start. He really basically parachuted into Washington to pitch that night. They didn't play very well behind him, and he lost that game. But after that, he was just unbelievable. Probably one of the main reasons why they were able to go to postseason last year was the job done by Roy Oswalt. Now, late in the season, when the Phillies were trying to put the Atlanta Braves away, he stepped up big time. There he goes. He looks at the hitter there and stares him down a little bit. You see the great stuff he has. That's a changeup that he came up with last year. Really good overhand curveball still, and a deceptive fastball. This guy can still throw the ball 92, 93 miles per hour. And the way he jumps at the hitter, I can't imagine anybody is comfortable hitting off Roy Oswalt even in this stage of his career. But for him to be the 3 starter on a team, that just gives you some idea what's going on around here.
And the surprising thing is, too, out of all 5 of the starters the Phillies have in their rotation, he is the hardest thrower of the 5. So we turn our attention now to the Phillies offense. So far in the first 2 games, Sarge, the offense has not hit the long ball, but they've been able to pepper the Astros for one run after another.
Yeah, quality at bats is exactly what the hitters are doing. That's what they're going to have to do all year long. Wear those pitchers out. Last night, take a look at the highlight. There's a single right there. And let me tell you, that single keeps the train moving. That's what you want to do. Another bloop single there by Victorino. Well, wasn't hit hard, but in the right place. All of them count. Ibanez has been hitting the ball hard both to right field and the left field. That's what they're going to do. And again, with Ibanez, he has to do that just to make sure he hits for that high average.
See, the Phillies, 24 hits so far, 14 runs. Only 4 of the hits have been extra base hits. And that's okay, isn't it?
No, that is okay. No home runs so far this year. You know that they're going to come. But I'd like to see them have that higher average. RBIs, that's going to win ball games.
Well, think about it, too, folks. 11 innings. Over the last 11 innings, that's when the Phillies have scored all of those runs offensively. So this afternoon, it will be Roy Oswalt against his former team. He'll be opposed by right-hander Bud Norris, who the Phillies just saw this past Monday in spring training. Well, the first night it was Roy Halladay, 6 strong innings for the Phillies. Then last night it was Cliff Lee. Now today, Roy Oswalt gets the nod against the Astros. Phillies baseball. Season so far as the Phillies get set to wrap up this series against the Astros, looking for the series sweep. The temperatures are in the 50s as the game is set to get underway. The fans in the sunshine, they're feeling pretty good about themselves right now as the Astros get set to face their former teammate, Roy Oswalt. Let's take a look at the Astros starting lineup. It's brought to you by Xfinity, only from Comcast. Really the same guys that we saw on opening night for the Astros. Michael Bourn, Angel Sanchez, and Hunter Penn start things off. Then the cleanup hitter is Carlos Lee. He had a big night last night. Bill Hall bats fifth, followed by Brett Wallace, the first baseman. The bottom third of Chris Johnson, Humberto Quintero, and Bud Norris, who makes the start today for Jay Happ. Happ's been pushed to Tuesday. And there's Roy Oswalt, who last year at this time was starting for the Astros. And it's kind of odd, I would think, for Oswalt Wheels to face the Astros today.
First week of the season last year, the Phillies wound up facing Roy Oswalt with Roy Halladay on the mound. And Halladay beat him 2-1 in that game, a great game. There are the numbers last year on Roy Oswalt, 13-13, but that includes a 7-1 mark after coming over here to the Phils.
He said he doesn't pitch to the color of the other team, so he said it's not going to be that odd. He said maybe at Minute Maid Park it would feel odd.
There's a scouting report on it from Southwest Airlines. Good fastball, tremendous overhand curveball, but the pitch he uses more and more that he likes is a good changeup that he developed last year.
Michael Bourn leads it off against Oswalt. Phillies looking for the series sweep this afternoon against the Astros, and the first pitch of the day is line foul down the left field line, so we are underway. Michael Bourn 1 for 9 so far. His numbers against the Phillies, though, have been good during his career. His one hit was a triple on opening day against Roy Halladay, and he pulls it right to Wilson Valdez. 1 away.
Time now for our Nissan keys to this afternoon's game. Well, how about an early sweep right out of the chute here? Phillies would love to be able to accomplish that today. And Roy Oswalt against his former team, that's a story to itself. Really been neat if Jay Happ had pitched here this afternoon. That would have been an even better story.
Right, because the two were traded for each other last year. Angel Sanchez is the batter, off to a good start this year, playing shortstop for the injured Clint Barmas. He's 4 for 8 in the series, and he takes a fastball down and away. Sanchez was acquired last year by the Astros from the Boston Red Sox and actually got a lot of playing time with Houston. Inside 2-0. Oswalt was asked yesterday about the Astros giving his number 44 away. They gave it to former Phil Sergio Escalona, who's now in the minor leagues with Houston. As Sanchez slices it to right, Francisco's right there, 2 outs. Anyway, Oswalt said, well, you know what? They haven't retired Joe Niekro's number, so it's really not that big of a deal. And Niekro is the all-time leader in victories in Houston history.
Well, you would expect Roy Oswalt to have that kind of an answer to that kind of a question. The weather conditions a lot better here today. 54 degrees, a wind still out of the northwest blowing in from the left field corner to the right field corner. But Oswalt is not a man who deals in hyperbole.
No.
In anything.
Well, 2 away. Here's Hunter Pence. Pence is 2 for 8 to start the year, and he pulls that one to the left side and through for a base hit. So a 2-out single for the Astros. And anytime you have to face Carlos Lee in the first inning of a ball game, it's a tough first inning because he's their most productive hitter. And with Pence on, Lee, who's had a good series, has a chance to extend the life of this inning.
Yeah, he's the guy in their order you're really worried about. And he has been good. There are his career numbers against Roy. Built them up when he was playing for the Milwaukee Brewers, and of course we're in the same division with the Astros, so he faced them quite a bit.
Fastball on the outside corner, and it's 0-1.
Lee is real still in that box. You know, you watch him. He's just a big time hitter. He's not just a power hitter, but there's not a whole lot of movement with him. You see, he just gets set, little waggle, and he loads up. And he can hit it hard anywhere. Here's his home run last night. Pitch out over the plate a little bit. Fastball, and he got it way up in the air. And even though the wind was coming in from that area, it just kept on going.
In the dirt, blocked by Ruiz. 2 balls and 1 strike. Lee, 9 home runs, 24 runs batted in his 24 games here at Citizens Bank Park. First time with a triple and a home run in the same game. He was probably thinking, that was my only chance to get a cycle.
Yeah, he's not going to get a whole lot of triples.
fouls that one off the glove of Ruiz. 2-2 the count.
That was a really good swing he had there. You don't see Carlos Lee get fooled that often or make that many bad swings because, in my opinion, when you watch him, it's because he's so still. Not a lot of moving parts in this guy's swing.
Even 2 balls and 2 strikes to Lee. Pence leads off first, and Oswalt will step off.
Pence is a guy who could steal a bag. Whether or not they wanted to run with Lee up there, I don't know, but with 2 strikes is not a bad time to go.
18 stolen bases last year. He doesn't go, and the pitch is popped up. Foul territory. Howard with the sunglasses on takes care of Carlos Lee, just as Roy Oswalt takes care of the Astros here in the first. No runs, a hit, 1 man left. We go to the bottom of the first. The Astros nothing. The Phils coming up. Free MLB fan guide. That's compliments of Scott's. Well, no scores. We go to the bottom of the first. Shane Victorino is a spectator today, along with Cliff Lee. Ross Claude might be used later on. So with Victorino as a spectator today, let's take a look at Charlie Manuel's lineup. It's brought to you by Xfinity, only from Comcast. Michael Martinez is about to make his major league debut, leading it off at center. Placido Polanco bats second, followed by Jimmy Rollins and Ryan Howard. Ibanez, Francisco, and Ruiz are 5, 6, and 7 for the Phillies. And then Wilson Valdez and Roy Oswalt. And they will face right-hander Bud Norris, a 26-year-old who makes the start this afternoon in place of Jay Happ.
There are the numbers on Bud Norris. He's a lot like Juany Rodriguez. He really picked it up in the second half of the season for them last year. One of the reasons why they pitched so well, or played so well. Last 13 starts, had a good earned run average under 4. And, you know, an ERA under 4 nowadays, you can call it good, the way that runs are scored in Major League Baseball. He's got a big arm. He throws really hard, slider, changeup, but he can be all over the place. And Phillies hit him around in that rain game, the final game of spring training. They faced him last Monday.
And Michael Martinez sees his first ever Major League pitch in a regular season game, and he takes a first strike.
And what a thrill this has to be for him.
See his numbers last year in Harrisburg. He had very good numbers in AAA at the end of the year.
Hey, one of his biggest fans is the manager. And that's not a bad guy to have on your side. Charlie Manuel really likes this kid. And he's not, you know, he's 28 years old. You call him a kid, but he likes this guy and his potential.
0-2 the count to Martinez. And then he stops it foul and remains no balls and 2 strikes. Nice catch by a fan in the first row of the Hall of Fame club.
See, he's in Santo Domingo, from out of Santo Domingo in the Dominican Republic. He's athletic. He has a lot of enthusiasm, and Charlie loves guys with, as he calls it, personality. Again, and this guy has personality. You know, he's bubbling.
Not an outfielder by trade. He's a shortstop by trade. In the minor leagues, he played 37 games during his career in the outfield. He's down at the count 0-2. The pitch from Norris. Swing and a miss. He got him with something soft. And Martinez is rung up. Out number 1 here in the first.
Tom saying that was something soft, looked like a straight change. That's what it was. Actually, it was a pretty good hit, pretty hittable pitch. But now he's pulling off a little bit. The left-handed looked like, and kind of anxious.
So 1 away. Martinez's first at bat is in the books. Sure, the butterflies have settled down a little bit. Here's Placido Polanco. Polanco 3 for 8 so far in the season. He has scored 3 runs. In fact, last night he scored 2 runs and had all 3 of his hits. And he lays off, and it's 2-0. The Lucky McDonald's Phillies home run jackpot contestant is Francis Dronick of Persona, PA. If the Phillies hit a home run in today's ball game, then Francis will win $300. Phillies have not homered yet in the first 2 games. Kind of odd to say that. In fact, they go for the series sweep today against the Astros. If they were to sweep the Astros and not hit a home run, it'd be the first time since 1994 that that's happened in a 3-game series.
Wow.
That'll find the seats toward the Diamond Club.
Jim Fregosi would have been the manager at that time, and maybe they're just in a little mix-up offensively then.
On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, Brian McCann's RBI has given the Braves a 1-0 lead over the Nationals. Tim Hudson is the Game 3 starter for the Braves. And Jordan Zimmerman is the starter for the Nationals, who won yesterday.
Norris's fastball is 95, 96. That's what we meant about him, with a big arm.
Whoa. Got away. It's 3-2. That's a slider that just didn't slide.
Yeah, he shook off 3 or 4 times to get the slider. Boy, oh boy, that really had him diving for cover.
And ball 4. The Phillies have a first inning base runner. So 1-out walk for Polanco. Norris is a former 6th-round selection for the Astros back in 2006. Made his major league debut in 2009. And he replaced the guy that he's facing this afternoon in that game. Roy Oswalt went down with an injury, so the Astros brought up the guy that eventually became the Pacific Coast League Pitcher of the Year in Bud Norris. And Rollins swings at the first pitch and he hits it foul, and it's 0-1. Rollins off to a good start. 4 hits in 9 at-bats so far. He scored 3 runs, and you could say that he's been robbed of a couple of hits too, including one last night where he hit a liner back off of the body of Jeff Fulcino. Now the umpires for this afternoon's game: Hunter Wendelstedt is behind the plate. Brian Knight is over at first. Jerry Lane, the crew chief, is at second, and Bob Davidson, who was behind the plate last night, is over at third. 0-2 the count to Rollins, and the pitch way inside, 1-2.
If Norris did that as a purpose pitch or not, to come inside, he did get a changeup over to Martinez to strike him out, and a changeup after a fastball in can be effective.
Let's see if Jimmy's ready for it. Rollins stands so close to the plate, not as open as he used to be. And he lines one into right field, a base hit. Polanco had to hold up and avoid the ball, so he'll stop at second. So the Phillies have 2 base runners, and Rollins has his 5th hit of the season.
Well, they threw something hard there, and it looked like they're trying to come inside again, and it stayed out over the plate a little bit. As Tom said, Polanco can't first to third here because he has to stay out of the way of the baseball. That's a slider, and you see it was right down the middle. Now watch Polanco. He has to freeze so he doesn't get hit with the ball. So now all he can do is walk into second and not get to third.
So the Phillies with a couple of base runners, and Ryan Howard is the batter. Howard has a couple RBIs already this year, 4 for 8. Still looking for his first home run.
Houston, one of those teams that does not put 3 fielders on the first base side.
Yeah, they have Sanchez, the shortstop, back toward the middle, which isn't a bad thing against Ryan Howard because he will hit balls right back up the middle.
Yeah, you know, it's just a preference. You know, whatever they think their charts show. Sometimes you'll see teams do it this way when there's a left-hander out there because they'll pitch him away and they think he might hit one towards the second base area. But you don't see it very often with a right-handed pitcher, and that's the way Brad Mills has decided to play his infield.
Brad Mills in his 2nd season as the manager of the Astros, with Al Pedrique as his bench coach. 1-0 the count to Howard. Inside 2-0.
See, here's the thing on Norris, so we put on the scouting report, is this guy has a tremendous arm and great stuff, but he pitches behind. And, you know, they'll sometimes have to come in with fastballs, and no matter how hard you throw it behind in the count near the middle of the plate, and guys can hit it at this level.
Well, on Monday against the Phillies, he walked 4 in 5 innings of work. It's 3-0. Quintero's going to go out to talk to Norris. He walked 4 in 5 innings of work, and you see his averages per 9 innings, 4.5 walks and 8.8 hits last season. That's a lot of base runners.
It is a lot of base runners. Well, and also you wonder about Ryan Howard right now, whether he gets a green light or not. Sometimes when a guy's all over the place like this, you don't even want to give a green light, you know, because you might chase something, make it out. Ibanez waits. Then again, he might throw one of those 95s right down the middle.
3-0 the count with runners on first and second. The pitch in the air to center field. That's well hit. Bourne on the run into the alleyway. Forget about that one. Phillies bullpen is the destination. A 3-run home run for Ryan Howard. It's the first home run of the year for the Phillies. RBIs in 3 games for Howard.
Chuck's in there saying, I gave him the green light. And look what he did with it. And he did. He threw a fastball right down the middle. And that was the idea of giving Ryan Howard a green light. Even though this guy's wild, he throws so hard. Oh, did that say hit me? And of course he did. He could have popped it up, could have grounded it out. Drove it right out of the ballpark, as Tom said, into the Phillies bullpen right there, into the waiting arms of the guys. Happy to field that one.
Jesus Tiamo took that one on one hop in the Phillies bullpen, catcher's glove and all. And that home run for Howard means that Francis Stronach has just won $300 courtesy of the McDonald's home run jackpot.
Another reason to give Ryan a 3-0 green light there is a right-hander, and he's swinging really well here early in the season, especially for him in the month of April.
Well, that home run, number 254 for Howard's career. That leaves him 5 shy of tying Del Ennis for second all time in Phillies history. And Ibanez just got a good pitch to hit there, and it's no balls and 2 strikes to him. Up high, 1-2. We mentioned on opening day, Ryan hit a ball pretty hard that on another day would have been out. Well, today he hit that one in the perfect spot. And a swing and a miss, and the second strikeout for Norris. 2 outs.
Both his strikeouts on changeups.
During the 2011 season, Turkey Hill will contribute $100 for each Phillies victory and 5 cents for each carton of Phillies Grand Slam ice cream. Sold to support the Phillies youth baseball and softball programs. Here's Francisco, who was okay after yesterday's minor collision with Gene Victorino. Victorino said that his calf, which is why he left the game yesterday, he didn't feel it on that play in the gap. He felt it as he was coming off the field an inning later. Francisco, they thought, got his bell rung, but he was okay after the game. Victorino, they feel like the calf problem is not a muscle issue. It's more of a sciatic issue, and he should be okay for Tuesday's opener against the Mets. In the air to left field, Francisco nails one. Second home run of the inning for the Phillies. And it's his first of the year. 4-0 Phillies here in the bottom of the first.
Well, so much for that note about a potential sweep without a homer. Huh?
I just wanted to throw it out there.
That was a good reverse Black Catters what that was. And once again, you know, in the major leagues, this guy is throwing really hard. 94, 95. But you throw it down the middle, and just big league hitters they all can hit a fastball. And you put it in that spot, and a guy like a Ben Francisco, he can turn it around, do some damage, and he did. And so what does Carlos Ruiz get? First pitch, breaking ball. He's really gotten hurt on his fastball this inning, and has gotten outs on changeups to 2 left-handed hitters.
Ruiz 2 for 7 this season with an RBI and a double and a little cue shot to the right of the mound, and Norris flips it underhand to first, and the side is retired, but the damage is done. The Phillies, who had not homered in the first 17 opportunities this season, got one from Ryan Howard, a big one. That was a 3-run shot, and then to top it off, Ben Francisco, a solo shot. The Phillies have a 4-0 lead. And the Phillies lead it 4-0. A couple home runs in the first take care of that. Bill Hall leads it off against Roy Oswalt. And Oswalt delivers a fastball inside, and Oswalt wants a new ball. Hall 0 for 8 so far. He's hit the ball hard, though. Has 1 RBI, and that was against Roy Halladay on opening day. Opposite way, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Astros picked up Hall as a free agent this past offseason from the Red Sox, and he's going to be out there every day at second base. He kind of reestablished himself last year with Boston. He hit 18 home runs. Little nubber up the third base line, and it's 1-2. Brad Mills was talking about why he chose Bill Hall to bat in the 5 spot, and he said basically it came down to experience more than anything else. You know, Chris Johnson and Brett Wallace could eventually be there, but for now he wants those guys to prosper. Wallace to feed off his spring, and Johnson to feed off his rookie year last year.
Well, that's what you do with a lot of young players that you think could be middle of the order hitters.
On the outside corner, man, that's a little paint right there by Oswalt.
Yeah, that's an outstanding fastball that he spots. You know, they'll bat a younger player down knowing that someday, or they hope that someday, he'll be a middle of the order guy, but to keep the heat off him for a little while, let him bat in the comfortable spot in the order. And they like Wallace and Johnson. There's, well, tip your cap and take a hike. Okay, what are you going to do with that? Foul it off, maybe.
Well, 1 out now for Wallace, 1 for 8 so far, and Oswalt starts him off not with a heater but with a changeup, and it's 0-1.
He got Lee swinging a changeup in the first inning to get him out. Really had him off balance. An awkward swing for Carlos Lee, and you don't see too many of them from that guy. That's what he used to throw all the time. 2 speeds of that slow hook, and he was fastball, curveball, maybe a little slider, but no changeup. And now Oswalt has a changeup that he uses effectively, and he can still drop that overhand hook on a hitter.
Swing and a miss. He got it with some cheese.
You know, he's not a big guy, Roy Oswalt, but to a hitter, he has to look like he's right on top of you when he delivers the ball because of his motion, the way he jumps at the hitter.
Well, this Tuesday, the Phillies will begin a 3-game series against the New York Mets. 7:05 is the first pitch on Tuesday night. And that'll be Cole Hamels against Chris Young. It's McDonald's opening week T-shirt, free to fans 15 and over. Also a Citizens Bank Business Person Special on Thursday. You can get your tickets, and there are limited seats available by going to Phillies.com. Mets won yesterday in extra innings against the Marlins, and they're winning today in the third, 5-0.
And the base is loaded, 1 out.
Swing and a miss, and it's 1-1 to Johnson.
Oswalt has a really, really good fastball here this afternoon, and it's in good spots so far.
To left field. Ibanez trying to track this one down. He's not going to get there. It stays in the yard, and a 1-hop off the wall. Johnson heading to second, and the throw is a little late. And there's the second hit of the game for Houston.
Well, he has him late on fastballs and then threw something off speed. It probably was a changeup because it wasn't a curveball. And it just looks like it sits up in the zone a little bit. They like Johnson. They think he's going to hit in the major leagues. Yep, changeup. He didn't want to throw it there. He's lucky that thing stayed in the yard. It had some topspin.
So 2 away, a runner at second, and here's Humberto Quintero off a 471 spring training average. 1 for 4 in Friday's opener. And a fastball inside. Right down the chute with another fastball, and it's 1-1. Oswalt was a very popular player when he was in Houston, albeit very quiet. He became very close friends with the owner of the Astros, Drayton McClain, and still kept in contact with Drayton during the offseason this year. And he was very good yesterday, talking about his time in Houston, how he wishes them the best. He's happy to see the farm system is being rebuilt.
Well, he was the face of their franchise for a lot of years. You look at Oswalt and Berkman. They were the guys you really thought about as Houston Astros after Bagwell and Biggio left.
Swing and a miss. He has struck out 3 in the inning, and he leaves 1 in scoring position. 3 strikeouts for Oswalt, no runs, 1 hit. 1 man left. That 1 man left, he didn't matter because it began with this, a fastball in the outside corner. Then he got Brett Wallace swinging, and finally Humberto Quintero to finish off the second. Catch the wisecracking miracle worker at his best. Hugh Laurie stars in 2 full hours of House tonight, starting at 8 right here on PHL 17. Bottom of the second. Flowers are looking nice out there in left field. Got a good look at them right there. Got a good look at them earlier in the game when Ben Francisco's home run landed about a row back.
Mike Buckhalter before the game told me the field is not settling. Those balls are just staying low to the ground. So always appreciate him listening to the telecast and telling us what he feels we have no clue about, which he's right about agronomy.
I thought he might have a retort about the field settling.
Well, I had it. I mean, I did everything to praise the field.
And rightfully so.
But there have been a lot of weird hops.
Wilson Valdez leads it off for the Phillies, and it's no balls and 2 strikes. Valdez nearly spun himself right into the ground. Good start for Wilson, and a good start for the Mets on the Toyota Major League scoreboard. They lead the Marlins 7-0 in the top of the 3rd. That's R.A. Dickey against Javier Vasquez for the Marlins.
I think Vasquez is going to be around much longer if he even is.
He is out of the game,
I would
according
think
to Carl
so.
Graver.
Seven that early usually will get you out of there.
A roller foul. Edward Mojica, if you're scoring at home on the Marlins Mets game, is in the game for Florida.
One of those guys they got from the Padres. They also got Ryan Webb, whose dad is a guy we've known in the Clearwater area for a long time. Hank Webb.
High fastball, cut out and missed. And that's the 3rd strikeout for Bud Norris. And one away, and Oswalt will get a chance to bat.
Talk about what veteran pitchers do in spring training. And one of the things they try to do is hit their spots, get to the point where they can do that. A lot of times they don't, and they get hit hard in spring training games. At least through 2 innings today, Roy Oswalt throwing the ball right where he wants to and has very, very good velocity with his fastball, and that sets the other stuff up.
Oswalt with 1 career home run in 613 ABs, working with a 4-0 lead, and he fights one off. He was looking to pull that ball, but it's probably his hands are probably stinging as he goes up the line.
That's what he tries to do to hitters.
Oh, we talked about the Mets and Marlins. The Marlins will be here for the first time on Friday, April 15th. And it'll be a salute to Jackie Robinson here at the ballpark. Jackie Robinson Day all around Major League Baseball. That number 42 will be worn by everybody. Saturday and Sunday, the series wraps up, and it wraps up on Sunday the 17th with the Citizens Bank Fanatic birthday and a Fanatic face T-shirt for fans 14 and under. Get your tickets by going to Phillies.com.
Reports on Michael Martinez are that he will bunt, so they have the 3rd baseman Johnson up on the grass. Just now he moved up again.
And Martinez is down, no balls and 2 strikes. Martinez, scouted by the Phillies last year with the Washington Nationals. Charlie Kerfeld, Dave Hollins, John Mercurio all took a look at him and deemed it necessary to pick him up in the Rule 5 draft. He's 0 for 2 today as he goes down on strikes for a 2nd time. And the Phillies are retired in order. 4 strikeouts for Bud Norris. We go to the 3rd here at Philadelphia with the Phillies up 4. to the Philadelphia Phillies. But did you know they also sell office furniture, cleaning supplies, kitchen snacks, and Green Mountain coffee for all your office needs? Who but W.B. Mason? Top of the third here in Philadelphia. Bud Norris will lead it off for Houston. And he takes a fastball down. It's 1 ball and no strikes. Norris is a 159 hitter, or was a 159 hitter last year. 167 overall for his career. Back toward the middle, flag down by Oswalt. He is so casual when he flips it over to first. I mean, he's that casual when he's trying to just keep it right close at first.
Well, he's a really good athlete. You know, he can swing the bat a little bit. He's a great bunter. He's always been a guy who could get the bunt down. Phillies put him in that game in left field last year, and he caught a fly ball. And, you know, he finishes ready to field the ball, and right back at him, and just a little over to Ryan Howard. Still, you watch him, though, he still has that little edge to him. He'll stare at hitters.
Here's Michael Bourne, who shows bunt. They've talked about Bourne bunting more. I guess they have the same kind of conversations about Bourne bunting more as Phillies fans have about Victorino and Rollins. And that's not too far away from the plate. And a good play by Ruiz and Howard.
He stepped on the bat when he went to throw that. The bat was certainly in the way. Of course, Carlos is used to that. That's how the no-hitter ended last year with Roy Halladay, and he fielded the baseball near the bat. Right here, there's Michael Bourne, tries to put down a bunt. He doesn't get it very far out. And now here's the bat, and there's the ball. No, he just slipped a little bit. He just, as he went to pick it up, his feet started to move a little, and as a result, he throws a little bit low. Good job by Ryan Howard.
Here's Angel Sanchez, and he takes a strike. That wasn't because the ground was settling.
No, we're not going to go there anymore. Get my hand slapped for that.
To the mound, Rollins behind the bag, off balance throw. How about Jimmy Rollins? What a play by J-Roll to finish up this third. It wasn't hit that hard, but the momentum carried him all the way out to shallow center field. He was finally able to get his bearings after that patented spin and the strong arm. He gets Sanchez by quite a nice margin. To you by Chevrolet. See your local Chevy dealer or visit ChevyDealer.com. And by McDonald's. I'm loving it. I think everybody's loving the weather and the sunshine this afternoon as things are cleared up here in the Delaware Valley. Please lead it 4-0 as we go to the bottom of the third. Jimmy Rollins will bat second in this inning, but Jimmy's off to a very good start, and he just made a heck of a play at shortstop.
He loves that play. He really enjoys going out, making that play where he can pivot like that and then throw the way that he can. Jimmy looks like he's having fun, and you could see it right away in spring training. Looks like a little bit of the joy of the game has returned to him, and when he plays with a spring in his step the way he is right now, I think it's infectious. And it's fun to watch him play like he's really having a good time. You know, being healthy helps. You know, when you're hurt, it's just no fun for anybody to do anything when you're hurt, but especially when you're an athlete, professional athlete, and you're out there trying to play with nagging injuries. It's just not the same.
Well, you're part of the team, but you don't feel like you're part of the process when you're injured and not playing.
Right, especially when, as you say, not playing when you're on the DL, and even when you're playing with an injury, like a lot of guys will do. You're not yourself. You're not the same player.
Here's the 2-1 to Polanco to left center field. Bourne on the run, and he's not going to get there. He'll knock it down in a hop, but Polanco's on his way to second. He'll get there standing, so he's in scoring position for Jimmy Rollins here in the bottom of the third.
They played Polanco opposite way, and Bourne was playing him over in right center, and I think the wind knocked that ball down on him. He thought it was going to go deeper. So as a result, watch the route that he takes. See, he's over here. Now he's got to come over into this area, and he goes back. Now he has to come forward, and at that point it's too late, even with his great speed. I think the wind really fooled him then, and that ball came down almost parachute-like out there.
Bourne is a 2-time Gold Glover, and you know, he's used to playing the outfield here at Citizens Bank Park, but it has been windy the first few days of the season.
Well, as you were talking about, Raul Ibanez told you it does swirl, but there's no doubt that that thing came down quicker than he thought it was going to.
So Polanco's in scoring position. Rollins, who is 5 for 10 on the season, has a chance to drive him in, but more importantly, he'd love to get him over to third with less than 2 outs for Ryan Howard.
They've done a pretty good job with that in the first couple games, you know, paying attention to it. It's such a big part of winning baseball games, especially when you don't expect to hit as many home runs as you did before. To pick up runs, lead off doubles with this part of the order, you should score them.
Outside with a fastball, 2-1.
You know, you get a leadoff double, Tom, near the bottom of the order with a pitcher involved, the 8-hole hitter a lot of times. But when you get a double with the first 2 guys, one of those guys, and you have your 3, 4, 5, should be a run.
We talked to Shane Victorino early in spring training, and he talked about that being a point of emphasis by Greg Gross and Charlie Manuel and the rest of the coaching staff this year.
It's winning baseball.
That's a slicer. That's going to drop in for a base hit. Polanco's going to be held at third. He had a hold up just to make sure it wasn't going to be caught by Bourne, but it was sinking fast, and Rollins with his second hit of the day.
Here's Ryan Howard, got a 3-0 green light, and he knew what to do with it. Norris throws a fastball towards the middle of the plate, and boom. Next time it hits ground, Phillies bullpen. 3-0. 3-run home run in the first inning. That is always a big lift, and the Phillies have a tremendous record in this ballpark anyway on Sundays.
Quick toss over to first.
They are 70-26 on Sundays.
That's a good winning percentage.
It really is. It's over 700. But why? I don't know. Maybe they like these Sunday unis.
Well, they've worn them twice now this weekend. Phillies throwback uniforms that they implemented a couple of years ago. Reminiscent of the Phillies uniforms back in the 50s. Another throw over to first, and Rollins is back diving. He doesn't have a big lead.
Only they were gray and were made of flannel, and they were okay this time of the year. But later on, when Whitey and the guys were wearing those unis, they must have really been hot.
Up high, 2-0. So he fell behind 3-0 to Howard his first time up, and he blasted the 3-run home run. Now he's behind 2-0, and Ryan really can zero in on a spot here.
Sure.
Ahead 2-0.
Exactly. That's a good point. A spot is what you look for. If it's middle away, don't even think about swinging. You wonder what they're going to do with their bullpen. You know, like, obviously nobody's bullpen's overworked. But Brad Mills is going to talk about, we're going to have to get somebody out because Norris doesn't look like he's going to shake this.
There's Ibanez waiting on deck. Guys in the bullpen are starting to stretch for Houston. They can sense what's going on here. Let's see if Howard gets the green light. 3-0 with 2 runners on. And he does, and he lines it deep to right field. It's hooking toward the stands. It's off the top of the wall. Polanco scores. It got away from Pence. Rollins stops at third. An RBI double for Howard. He has a 4 RBI game.
You know how they have a stat for everything now? They can go find anything. I want them to go find the last time a major league player in consecutive at-bats hit 3-0 pitches for home runs. It seems like they can find everything now. Well, we almost saw it. I mean, that came, what, a couple feet from another 3-0 going out of the yard?
It was just hooking too much.
He is really swinging well. Yeah, well, that was, as opposed to the first. Oh, look where it hit, up on the screen up there. As opposed to the first one that he got the backspin on, that was a top spin lob out there, and it came down in a hurry.
6 RBIs for Howard. 50 pitches so far for Norris. And still with nobody out, here's Ibanez. Now the infield is in halfway. Trying to get some kind of an advantage on a ground ball.
Tough way to play, you know. As you said, it's halfway. You won't play the infield in the 3rd inning. They're going to get somebody up, as Tom said, because Norris just doesn't. It doesn't look like he's going to get out of this. I mean, he may get out of this inning, but he's just not sharp today. He's running deep counts.
Anuri Rodriguez is loosening up in the pen for the Astros.
In the game last night. Deep counts and coming in with pitches, and the Phillies are really hitting him hard.
0-1 the count to Ibanez with runners on 2nd and 3rd. And it's 1-1.
You just keep getting behind the way this guy is, you're going to get hurt.
We mentioned that Norris is pitching today for HOU, who strained his oblique earlier this week in an exhibition game against the Red Sox. And Norris was scheduled to pitch on Tuesday, so it's not as if he's working on short rest. The last time he pitched was Monday against the Phillies, but he wasn't sharp even on Monday.
No, they hit him around. He had, what, 4 walks in that game?
4 walks, 6 hits, 6 earned runs in 5 innings. And Ibanez tried to hold his swing, and he went around. It's 2-2.
Well, he didn't give in with a fastball that time, a breaking ball. And that's Ibanez, a swinging fastball, head in the count and get one. Hardly ever go on contact with nobody out. 5-run lead like this early, so they can get an out in the infield right now the way they played it on a hard hit ball without a run scoring. And the base runner at third, you know, he's really on his own in this situation. He's just trying to read it. You know, if it's a dribbler towards the middle of the infield, or, you know, you score on it. But if the ball's hit hard with nobody out where they are right now, you know, you just don't run into an out.
Pretty good production from 2, 3, and 4 this afternoon.
That's not bad.
5 hits, 4 runs, 4 RBIs. A chance for a couple more runs with Rollins at third and Howard at second. 2-2 the count. The pitch. Roller right side. Rollins doesn't come home. Norris nearly didn't cover, and he just beat Ibanez to the bag.
See, that's one of those I mentioned. You know, you got to read that off the bat and make a quick decision on what you're going to do. In this case, Jimmy Rollins decided not to come home with nobody out.
Well, it's time now, Wheels, for our cold, hard blast.
I wonder what that is.
Might surprise you.
Oh, Ben Francisco. All right. Got a fastball and hit it out of the ballpark.
One of 2 home runs for the Phillies in that first. The other one was Ryan Howard's 3-run shot. That is our Coors Light cold hard blast. Fanatic has been making a making his rounds around the ballpark these first 3 games.
I mentioned the way the infield is, you never want to make an out at the plate there with nobody out. That'd be the first out. But in that case, I think Jimmy second guessed himself a little bit. The way it was hit out there, it was a tough play. The first baseman's way off the line and back. Probably could have scored easily on that.
And the way the bounce was, he was kind of back on his heels.
Yeah. Now he's taking a look back there as Norris to see what Jimmy Rollins is doing on that play, and then barely beats Ibanez to the bag and then skids a little bit himself there.
He shouldn't have worried about what Rollins was doing.
Nope.
He should have just went to the bag.
And what's he going to do? You know, it's not like he's going to catch the ball and tag him at the plate.
Or go back and back up behind the plate.
Yeah.
0-2 the count. Phillies are trying to get another run home from third with less than 2 outs.
Now you got this guy on the ropes right now, and you really want to finish him off.
A lot of pitches this inning. A lot of pitches so far in the game for Bud Norris.
59.
One and 2 the count.
Norris just the opposite of Roy Oswalt today with command of his fastball. He just all over the place with it.
See the runners. Rollins at third. Howard with an RBI double is at second. Swing and a miss. And Francisco is the second out here in the third. Oh, Wheels, it's now time for the Dodge Stump the Fans trivia question. Log on to Phillies.com. Go to the fans section for all the information. And please submit your answer on the subject line. The question is, Wheels, name the 2 current Phillies pitchers who have Olympic gold medals. What do you think? You're shaking your head.
I don't know right away. I mean, I have to think about it.
Here's Ruiz. I'll give you a hint. It's not Ruiz.
That said pitchers. Or did it say players? I'm forgetting it. It said players. Yeah. Okay. We'll figure that one out, Tom, or we'll take a guess. But it is called Stump the Fans.
Correct. You're a big fan.
Oh, yeah. If it stumps me, it just makes you laugh. That's all. Charlie's not laughing if they leave second and third out there with nobody out.
Yeah, even with a 5-0 lead in the third.
This is killer in time right now. As I mentioned, you got a pitcher. He just hanging on the ropes. Where one more hit makes it 7-0. Even a fly ball or a ground ball before the 2 outs make it at least 6-0.
Almost got Valdez.
Yeah, it wasn't hit very hard, and he skipped rope. Oh, went off the mask. That's why it wasn't going over there very hard.
It was hit hard originally.
It was hit. Yes. Ask Quintero how hard that was hit. Norris wanted that, but see, when you're all over the place like he is, a lot of times you won't get that. Pitchers throwing a lot of strikes, get the borderline one. I mean, that pitch is outside. It's probably not a strike, but you know, maybe if he were a little bit more consistent this afternoon, could have been.
Ruiz did this a lot last year, where he'd work a lot of deep counts.
2-2 breaking ball.
Well, you mentioned before he's having trouble with his fastball command.
Man, now you almost have to throw one. They do have a base open. Maybe once Valdez with them loaded, but you throw 2-2 breaking ball. A lot of times you're in a fastball situation now.
Swing and a miss. He got him. Back-to-back strikeouts. Ruiz is down swinging. The Phillies leave 2. They do get 1 on the RBI double by Ryan Howard. We go to the 4th. It's 5-0 Phils. Subscribe to MLB.tv today to see every Phillies game live or on demand on your computer or on your favorite devices. Visit Phillies.com to order and get more details. MLB.tv, baseball everywhere. Gary Matthews joins us as we go to the top of the fourth. Sarge, a lot of good things offensively and on the mound so far in this game.
Well, Oswalt, very aggressive, like we've seen him. Now, still those situations, I mean, they're scoring runs, you like that. But again, those runs on third base, you got to be able to get those runners in, because when you're facing tough pitching, Lincecum, for instance, you want to be able to add on and to get that run. They become very important as the season goes on.
No question. Hunter Pence leads it off against Oswalt. And it's 2 balls and no strikes. Pence singled against Oswalt his first time up. On the outside corner, it's 2-1.
Pence, one of those throwback hitters. He likes to choke up on the bat. Gives you a little bit more bat control is the reason he does it.
I think the thing that I marvel at with Pence is that he chokes up on the bat. But he hit 25 home runs last year, and he has 3 straight years of 25 home runs.
He swings real hard when he's approaching a ball and can hit the ball out to right field.
And there you go. Out to right field. And that one is gone. Off the Budweiser sign. That's a long one. And it's a 5-1 game.
Wow. Well, I knew he could hit the ball out to right field, but didn't want to hit it out right then. But again, he has power to all fields. I mean, he can hit the ball straight away center field, and that's one of the reasons why he's a strong hitter. Look how he forces that ball, and he's going that way.
Carlos Lee was just bunked, and he's going to take first.
See exactly where this pitch goes there. Know it's a fastball running in, and well, that hits him on the elbow there.
Knocked him right on down.
And that really is no intent. Intent would be more so in his body. That ball up and in. It looked like to me Lee just over the plate a little bit. Kind of guessing maybe Oswalt's going to throw a pitch on the outside part of the plate. The reason that he's doing that, he's looking after that home run to right field. He's saying, well, maybe he wants to come back out there again, be ready for it. That ball up and in.
Here's Bill Hall with nobody out, and that pitch is low and inside. You wonder about the intent, and I know you say it wasn't intentional, but after the home run, and Oswalt has been so good with his control so far today, but he does run that fastball inside to right-handers.
He will throw in. He'll really double up inside. And if he's throwing in and it happens to hit a batter the way that he feels, that's part of the game, and it is.
1-1 the count to Hall. Phillies pitchers so far this series have 25 strikeouts. That's really impressive. The other thing that's impressive, they've only walked 1 batter.
No free passes. Makes pitching coach Rich Doobie feel good. Let's take a look at Cliff Lee and his sunglasses. What a performance last night. I told him, great pitching, bad hitting.
Lee's numbers yesterday: 11 strikeouts, 5th time in his career, double digits in strikeouts and no walks. The only walk so far for the Philly pitchers was an intentional walk by Danny Baez on opening day. That's it.
Well, these kind of performances by your pitchers make the everyday player want to play harder, want to make sure that you do whatever you can to make them win that ball game. That's what we felt in '83 against John Denny and Carlton when they pitched.
To right field, Francisco. Heading on back to the warning track has Rome, and he slams right into the scoreboard. He knocked a piece of the scoreboard right off its tracks. Look at that.
Wow.
Pretty good acknowledgement by the crowd.
Well, take a look as he goes back. He's got a better bead on it than the other night. As he keeps the concentration, looks right at it. Didn't even look at that fence. Just worried about catching that ball, and he did.
So now Brett Wallace takes a strike. That ball really carried, too.
Well carried, and it was slicing back toward the line, if you will.
In case you're wondering, San Diego is playing St. Louis. It's San Diego. They got knocked right off its tracks out there. It's scoreless. Bottom of the second. Padres 2-0 so far this year.
Much better jump, too, there by Francisco as that ball was hit, and he was going back to catch it. That's what makes your pitching even better is good defense.
Wallace struck out his first time up. So he's 0 for 1. One of 3 strikeouts today for Oswalt. And it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Swing and a miss. He got him on a curveball. Man, he was way out in front. That came in at 68 miles an hour.
That's where he throws it, right around 67, 68. Almost like a little eephus pitch there. Out in front of that. No chance unless you're actually waiting back. That kind of ball, you just want to get a piece of it if you can. Good pitch there. Doesn't throw a lot of curveballs at all, but situations he will, and mostly to the left-hander.
Well, there was a time during Oswalt's career when he was fastball curve and really nothing else as that ball got away from Ruiz. It's 1-0. But as he's gotten older, and Oswalt's now 33 years old, he's relied obviously on that fastball, but the changeup more so than the curve.
Changeup has a good fastball. Everything comes off of the fastball. As you take a look there at his total pitches.
To third base, Polanco to his right. He has time to get Lee at second. And the side is retired. 1 run on 1 hit. The home run by Pence, but also a heck of a defensive play by Ben Francisco. Having himself a pretty good day out there in right. And the Phillies lead it 5-1. we're for homes. Talk to us today about how we can help guide you to the loan that's right for you. By the Quality Plus Ford stores. And by Xfinity. It's TV, phone, and internet reinvented only from Comcast. A couple of very good defensive plays by the Phillies today. That one you just saw by Ben Francisco. Another one by Jimmy Rollins. And we go to the bottom of the fourth, and the Phillies on top 5-1. We'll have Wilson Valdez, Roy Oswalt in the top of the order. Dave Abramson is working on the scoreboard out there. San Diego's not going back up that easy, Sarge.
Oh, boy, he just hit that pretty hard to get that out of there, wouldn't you think?
It looked like not only did the SD get knocked off its slots, but the slot got knocked off, too. Here's Valdez, 1 ball and no strikes to him. And he lays off a low fastball. It's 2-0. They appeal the check swing, and Brian Knight says no swing. Back toward the middle. Hall over the bag, off balance throw, and it's in time to get Valdez. 1 away. Well, Sarge, first 3 games for the Phillies. There's the batting average at .349. They've hit their first 2 home runs of the season today.
Yeah, those runs that you're scoring, that average that you mentioned, that's what you want, the consistency. That average will get them those extra runs and extra base hits, too. Just got to hit that ball hard, and they've certainly done a good job in doing that.
Here's Oswalt. He grounded out his first time up, and he takes a fastball off the knees. Down the right field line, slicing foul. And it's 1-2.
I think the hitters gave you a good indication of Norris, a guy that throws pretty hard. He gets into hitting counts. Guess what? Doesn't throw as hard anymore. He's been throwing that 4-seamer, the fastball, even though it's 95 plus, the ball gets hit hard when a major league hitter is looking for that pitch.
I think we saw that with Howard's home run, Francisco's home run.
Norris going to some of his off-speed pitches has had a little bit better success.
Swing and a miss, and Oswalt is down on strikes. So Norris picks up another strikeout. 2 outs here in the fourth. Hey, there's a new 24/7 traffic network, Tango Traffic, with over 200 roadway cameras, live maps, and breaking traffic coverage. Tango Traffic makes your daily drive a lot easier. Digital channel 17.4 and Comcast channel 253. Here's Michael Martinez. He's 0 for 2. Martinez has struck out twice in his first game as a major leaguer.
Well, probably has a few butterflies. Just been pulling off the ball there some. Got him on some off-speed pitches.
Probably feels like he's stepping out of the on-deck circle behind 0-2.
Yeah, and you know, there's always somebody that he's making perfect pitches on, and so far it's against Martinez. Certainly don't want a hat trick, meaning 3 strikeouts on the. There you get in there. Ooh.
Martinez, we mentioned earlier, 28-year-old who is a lifetime .263 hitter in the minor leagues. Roller to the right side, and Wallace will take it to the back himself. And the side is retired. The Phillies go down in order. Norris all of a sudden has retired 6 consecutive batters. Since the RBI double by Howard, we go to the 5th. It's time to take a look at our Coors Light freeze cam. I'm not sure if this catch can ever get old. Sarge, Francisco.
As it goes back, he keeps his eye right on it. Then he knew he's getting ready to knock that San Diego sign down.
Our Coors Light freeze cam brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. Sarge, how much does that hurt going into that kind of a fence?
Well, that fence gives, so not at all. Not like that Ivy in Chicago.
Quintero hits it in the air to left. Lazy fly ball for Ibanez. One away.
Yeah, that has like a little wire mesh that's on it, so it gives some. It's not going to, just hurt you where if you hit it, it doesn't give it all.
Now, that was the kind of fence that you had out in Candlestick, right? That cyclone fence?
Interesting. Had that there and also in Atlanta. But the fence in Atlanta was a lot lower. The one in San Francisco at Candlestick, a lot higher.
Well, Joe Inglet will pinch hit for Bud Norris here in the 5th. So Norris is done after 4 innings this afternoon. Inglet, who led the National League in pinch hit appearances last year, see his career numbers, played for the Milwaukee Brewers. And it's no balls and 2 strikes. Oh, and 2 the count to Inglet. The pitch on the hands, hit over toward the camera well on the third base side. Astros picked up Inglet in a trade the day before the end of spring training from the Tampa Bay Rays. Kind of surprised the Brewers let him go after being a serviceable guy last year off the bench.
Those are the type of players they usually keep.
A, because of cost. B, because of versatility, as Abad is throwing in the pen, a left-hander. Breaking ball, cut on and missed. And another strikeout. That's number 5 for Oswalt. And 2 outs here in the 5th.
Some late break on that pitch. Curveball, that's what you're calling it there. Look how soft that ball is. Hitters out in front. Now what they're doing, they're thinking that's a fastball. That's why you got to be able to pick up the spin on it, and his spin is just so tight.
They think it's a fastball because of his motion, right? It's the exact motion, like they're right there. He throws a fastball at 90, and it's the same motion that he threw the curveball.
He's throwing his arm and body all at you, thinking that it's a fastball. You get out in front and just can't wait enough on it.
Because you have to cheat a little bit on a 92, 91, 90 mile an hour fastball.
You would hope that you would not. You'd hope that you could still have soft feet. Your hands will be quicker. That's what separates those really good hitters from just mediocre hitters.
1-2 the count to Bourne, with 2 outs here in the top of the 5th.
Hank Aaron used to talk about he never guessed, but he said he anticipated. So I was saying, well, what is the difference then if I'm looking for that fastball and I get it? I mean, I would think I'm guessing right, but just different terminology on that.
Outside with a fastball, Oswalt thought he had the corner. It's 2-2 to Bourne.
So I guess Hank Aaron must have anticipated the ball right most of the time.
He anticipated 755 times. And a breaking ball low. Oswalt was a 23rd round selection by the Astros back in '96. And you figure with his size at 6 feet, that's what he's listed, 190 pounds. Other teams probably weren't sure if he would have enough power to be a major league pitcher. Well, he certainly does. And Bourne stays alive as he pokes it foul.
Yeah, the other intangible that he has is just the heart. The heart to go out there and pitch and to compete. Wants to beat you at any cost.
And low, ball 4. That one just missed. First walk of the day for Oswalt, only the second walk of the year for the Phillies pitching staff. Well, they've hit a couple batters.
Yeah.
And Angel Sanchez is 0 for 2. He's fly to right and grounded short. Will be the hitter.
Wouldn't be surprised to see Michael Bourne trying to steal a base.
He's not going to have a chance. Valdez to his left, and Oswalt has another easy inning. Oswalt, no runs, no hits, one man left. He's through 5 in his first start against his former team. Placido Polanco to lead it off when we return. Dollar Dog Night here at the ballpark as the Milwaukee Brewers are in town for the start of a 3-game series. It wraps up on Wednesday the 20th. The Citizens Bank Business Person Special. Log on to Phillies.com. A limited amount of seats are still available for that 3-game series against the Brewers. Ron Renicky is the new manager for the Milwaukee Brewers. Sarge.
Well, they're 0-2 starting the season off. Still just a difficult place to win. I don't care what manager you bring in there. It boils down to the players that you have on the field.
Well, Fernando Abad is the new pitcher for the Astros as we start the bottom of the 5th. And he'll face Placido Polanco, Jimmy Rollins, and Ryan Howard. 2, 3, and 4. And 2, 3, and 4 has provided some pretty good pop this afternoon for the Phillies. Polanco has scored twice. He's walked and he's doubled. One and one. Polanco has 4 hits and 9 official at bats this year. And he's down in the count 1-2. And you know, this is a topic that Charlie Manuel got into yesterday, Sarge, and I'm sure you appreciated it. He wants his guys to be confident in hitting with 2 strikes. You know, he doesn't want them to jump early in counts often. You know, he wants them to be okay with a 1-ball 2-strike count. Feel confident that they can make contact and get some hits.
Well, that means that you need to really stay back, not overswing, and just put that bat on the ball.
Polanco's retired in this at bat, but he's one of the better guys with 2 strikes.
Well, he hits the ball the other way and inside out the ball, even though that ball was in a little bit more. I think, too, what he's talking about, cutting down your swing a little bit, especially some of the guys that can't hit the ball out of the ballpark. You don't want Ryan Howard to cut down on his swing, but there's different times. For instance, Francisco, maybe you would like him to cut it down just a little bit after 2 strikes if you have a runner in scoring position. Other than that, go for what you know. Go for trying to drive the ball. But there are times when you can go for maybe trying to drive it or hit it out, and time when you need contact to score a run.
So with 2 strikes, you're looking for good contact. You're not looking to
I'm looking for contact and trying to stay right up the middle there or to the opposite side to be able to get that RBI. The worst thing I want to happen is to get that RBI. If I get that base hit or double, that's kind of gravy, period. But you want to make sure you make contact. Can't come in from third on a strikeout.
2-1 the count to Rollins with one out here in the bottom of the fifth. And it's 2-2. Well, there you have it. You have back-to-back hitters now with 2 strikes to start the inning. You know, and Jimmy is one of those guys. You know, try to get a little shorter with 2 strikes.
Jimmy is another one. He kind of keeps his same stroke most of the time. That ball there was a hard cutter that came in on him, but for the most part, you know, J-Roll and getting off to a good start makes him feel better. He's going to feel the balls even better. But again, the consistency that comes with having a good, solid at bat. That's what you want to start to get early hits.
Well, 2-2 the count to Rollins, and he lays off a pitch outside, so it's 3-2.
Well, the more pitches you see, the easier it should be to be able to hit, because now you've seen the velocity and how hard that pitch is.
And there is something to be said for starting out the season strong, but you have a little confidence, extra confidence, even for a guy as seasoned as Jimmy Rollins.
Yeah, because if you don't have any hits, you're still going to press because you want to get that first hit. So far this year, J-Roll's just about been in the middle of every good thing that's happening. And the other way that you get Ryan Howard some good pitches by having guys on base. You can't pitch around them when you have guys on base.
Well, Rollins is retired on that grounder to short, so 2 outs here in the 5th inning. And that'll bring Howard to the plate. Howard has had a very good day, and one of the reasons why Abad is in there is because of Howard's potential from the left side. Sarge, you got some copters going up above, and they would have had a pretty good view of this home run by Howard in the first.
Oh boy, did he smoke that ball. And I mean, when he hits him, there's no doubt about it. The pitcher doesn't know what base to back up. Well, he doesn't have to. You stay on the mound for another ball. He just missed from hitting the next one out. I mean, he hits the ball so hard. When he's hitting the ball hard, he doesn't just get those long singles. He gets home runs.
And a liner on one hop right off the glove of Bill Hall. Even though he was playing back, that ball was scorched and it just ate him up.
Wanted no part of that ball. Mouthpiece or no mouthpiece. Knows to get that on the side of the ball. Yeah, that ball there, I mean, it's almost got to be a hit as he hits that ball almost right through him. You can see he didn't really know which way to go to catch that ball, but he was smart enough not to stay in front of it and have the ball hit you.
Well, that means Howard is just a triple away from the cycle. He's 3 for 3 as they do score that a hit.
Those are the kind of hits too that you want to get at home. Home cooking. But again, that ball should have been a hit no matter what ballpark that you were in.
Bonia's 0 for 2 today.
You gotta like the sound though. I mean, when he hits the ball, I mean, when he's hitting it the way he should, just a different sound from other players.
Fernando Abad on for Bud Norris here in the 5th. And Ibanez hits it hard, but right at Bill Hall. That was not a great flip to second, but Sanchez was able to take it on the backhand, and the side is retired. No runs, a hit, 1 man left for the Phillies. We go to the 6th there in Philadelphia. The Phillies up 5-1. the 2010 NL Cy Young Award winner. Amazing, dominating, excellent, gritty, astonishing, determined, remarkable, focused, nasty, relentless, precise, unhittable, and like few other things in the world, perfect. Roy Halladay took the mound and did everything a pitcher could be asked to do in one season. His efforts, his success, and the memory will always be unforgettable. And they are brought to you by Independent Blue Cross. We're here for you every step of the way.
Well, Roy Halladay had himself a pretty good offseason. I just saw that MLB 2K11 commercial again the other day with he and Carlos Ruiz and the Carlos Ruiz pillow. That's some funny stuff, Sarge.
Oh, boy. I tell you what, just a great year.
Top of the sixth, Oswalt delivers a strike to Hunter Pence.
You know, and having a year like they had last year just makes them more hungry this year to try and do exactly what they wanted to do, and that is get and win another World Series. Yeah, I wanted to see if he was going to make an adjustment and maybe crowd him or pitch him in. You know, he's the type of pitcher, no matter what. Even if you've hit a home run, he doesn't back down from you.
And away, and it's 2-1. Roy Oswalt was saying yesterday that where he's from in Weir, Mississippi, it's a small town. As Pence hits it back through the middle, he has his third hit of the day against Oswalt. And he's aboard to start the sixth. And he said that when he became a member of the Astros, he had to convince all the folks in Weir, Mississippi to move from being a Braves fan to being an Astros fan. So he did that. And now he's got to convert them over to the Phillies. He said he pretty much has them converted to being Phillies fans.
Oh, well, I know there in Mississippi it's hard for them to change. But when you win, guess what? They want to be winners, better come on over here to the fighting fields.
Oswalt still makes his home outside of Weir. In fact, he opened up a restaurant back in 2009 in Weir, Mississippi, called the Home Plate Fish and Steakhouse. And it's on 76 acres. And do you know he cleared the land himself with a bulldozer that Drayton McClain gave him?
I can believe it. I bet he has some good catfish there. I'll have to ask him about that restaurant.
At the knees, and it's 0-2 to Lee.
Hey, he is a very hard worker. You can get here early on and seeing running up and down the stairs, and that is about a brutal workout as you can get. It does really keep your legs strong.
The 0-2 to Lee. Inside, ball and 2 strikes. Yeah, he mentioned in a recent story in the New York Times that he doesn't get up at 5:30 and work out like Roy Halladay does. But he does, and everybody that's part of this rotation, they do have their own regimen to keep themselves in shape. A lot of times when you come to the ballpark after Oswalt's pitch, you'll see him running around the ballpark, hat on backwards, going up and down the stairs throughout Ashburn Alley.
Yep.
And it's all produced that right there. Double digits in wins, 9 of the 10 years.
Yeah, because that is not by accident that pitchers pitch as long as they do. You got to be able to work out hard.
There you go. On cue.
Yep.
This was Wednesday here at the ballpark. And that was before the on-deck series game against the Pirates.
I mean, for me, it'd be more difficult getting started going down.
A roller to shortstop. Rollins second for 1. Valdez can't get out of his glove. He dropped it on the exchange, so Pence is out at second. They had Lee at first, too.
Oh, no, you got the right guy running when you hit a ball on the ground there for a double play. He's hitting that ball right there to J-Roy at shortstop. Gives him a good toss. He just lost the handle there on it. Here it is again. Catches that in fine form. You can see getting ready to throw. Just didn't have the ball in order to throw it. Pence didn't know where the ball was.
So with one away, here's Bill Hall. He's 0 for 2. He struck out back of the second. Fly to right his last time up. Phillies are up 5-1. They scored 4 in the first, added 1 more in the third. And the Astros scored their only run in the fourth on a home run by Hunter Pence.
There's a two-seamer, that movement as he crowds Billy Hall.
Trying to crowd him again, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike.
Billy always acts like he's getting ready to call timeout when he gets into the box. I guess that's just the way that, he gets ready. He usually throw that one hand up like, hey, hold it, wait a minute. The umpire never recognizes it. He just has him go on in there, and here we go pitching.
Well, that's what happened that day in Kissimmee when Bill Hall and Cole Hamels got into it a little bit, because Laz Diaz, the home plate umpire, he didn't acknowledge the time, and Cole just went into his windup, rightfully so, and Hall stepped out, and then finally time was called.
Yeah, I think Bill had too many of those 5-hour energies that day. Got a little upset. It wasn't that big of a deal, I thought. And the next pitch up and in, it wasn't that big of a deal. It was in, but not really, where it just knock you down. I try and maybe really respect the pitchers a little bit more, just not like digging holes, planting your foot where you get a better grip. You get in there, and hopefully he's going to throw you that straight one and get yourself a hit and get out of there.
On the hands, he loops it right over the head of Polanco. Lee is around second. He'll get to third. Hall trying for second. He'll get there easily. So he has a 1-out double, and there are runners on second and third here in the sixth.
Yeah, pretty good base running by Carlos Lee, hustling all the way there to third base. Keep in mind, though, Ibanez, they played Bill Hall all the way over on the right side. He actually pulled that ball right down the line there. Ibanez had to go a long way. By the time he gets to the ball, all runners were able to advance as much as they could. Now take a look at Carlos Lee. He's seeing that play right in front of him. One of the times you don't need a coach, you're looking right at it as Bill Hall slides in.
Wallace fouls the first pitch back. So Oswalt hasn't been in too many jams this afternoon. Astros had a 2-out double back in the second, didn't score. But now they have runners on second and third with 1 out here in the top of the sixth.
A big part of the game right here to try and keep it right where it is, or have as less damage as you possibly can. Looking for a strikeout or a pop-up.
Phillies play the infield back, so they'll concede a run for an out if they can get a ground ball. They lead it by 4 here in the sixth. Now Oswalt wants to talk to Ruiz. Wasn't a very long conversation.
Well, Roy doesn't have all that much to say. He doesn't talk a whole lot anyway. Hi, how you doing? About the extent of it.
Wallace out in front. He fouls it at the plate. He got a piece of Ruiz. And it's 1-2. Breaking ball. He rolls it to first. That'll get a run home. But the Phillies will exchange the run for an out. Lee scores from third. It's 5-2 Phils here in the top of the sixth. Hall goes to third. And an RBI for Wallace, his first of the year.
Yeah, that's a good job by him making contact.
Hey, the 11th annual Teacher All-Stars is underway. That's right, it's with the Phillies and the News and Education Department of the Philadelphia Inquirer. Send your entries to fandeb@phillies.com or mail attention Teacher All-Stars, 1 Citizens Bank Park, Philadelphia, PA 19148. Now, the deadline for submissions is tomorrow. And what we're looking for is an essay of 500 words. So get working right now on that or less about a teacher that is making a difference in your life. 10 teachers will be honored before the ball game on Friday, May 6th, here at the ballpark. Chris Johnson's the hitter. Johnson 1 for 2. It's no balls and 1 strike. And he hit that one right off his foot.
It's no fun. No fun at all. He has on one of those protective pads, but it always seems where it just hits right either below it or
oh, that hit his knee.
I don't understand how you do that.
Wow.
Boy.
Remember, Jermaine Dye broke his leg one time playing for the A's when he fouled the ball just below his knee. He's pointing to where that ball hit. Hit right in the middle of the bat.
Well, you can't have that little guard up any higher. Other than that, it'd be a full cast just about.
0-2 the count to Johnson. Yeah, the pitch from Oswalt. And he fouls it back.
Surprised he didn't run one right back in there again. Greg Maddux was just famous for that. Foul a ball off your foot in a particular area, he'd come right back with that same pitch.
Trying to check his swing. He went, says Hunter Wendelstedt. And Ruiz applies the tag, and the inning is over. Johnson is not too pleased. Wendelstedt gives him an equipment fine. Oswalt will take it. He gets the strikeout, his 6th of the day, and he leaves one in scoring position. You make the decision. Wendelstedt did. It's a strikeout, and the Phillies are through the 6th. Airlines new Rapid Rewards, unlimited reward seats, and no blackout dates. By WB Mason. Who but WB Mason for amazingly low office product prices. And by the Pennsylvania Lottery. Benefits older Pennsylvanians every day. It's the second largest crowd in Citizens Bank regular season history. 45,562 on hand this afternoon. And it wraps up a weekend in which the Phillies drew more than 136,000.
Wow. It's unbelievable. It just shows you what a great product they have on the field, the players. And not only that, these players are one of the few in the league that will sign autographs here in spring training. I mean, we saw them there the whole time, giving back to the community, and really good players.
Nori Rodriguez is the new pitcher for the Astros as we begin the bottom of the 6th. It's 5-2 Phillies. And Ben Francisco takes a hook for a strike. It's 0-1. Rodriguez pitched yesterday, made his major league debut for Houston. 1 inning, 1 run, a hit and a walk. Well, you count the 2 on-deck series games on Tuesday and Wednesday, you're looking at more than 200,000 people in this ballpark in 5 games. Francisco hit his first home run of the year. Was back in the first. And it's 2 balls and 2 strikes to him. A liner toward left. That's going to drop in front of Lee. Second hit of the day for Francisco. So the Phillies have the leadoff batter aboard here in the bottom of the 6th.
Right, that's just great hitting as he picks on a breaking ball and a good one. Well, sometimes you got to give credit to the hitter there, and certainly there, Francisco going down, hitting a breaking ball. And watch the break on this pitch. He goes right down with it, breaking on the outside part of the plate. Spanks it right into left field.
So now Ruiz will be the hitter. Ruiz is 0 for 2 today. The Phillies are looking to tack on some runs. This lead is down to 3 after they jumped out to a 5-0 lead. They've gotten into this young Astros bullpen early. Once again, they did so last night with Wandy Rodriguez on the mound. And Brad Mills didn't want to go to the pen too early today, but he had to because Bud Norris struggled so much through 4. 1-0 the count to Ruiz.
It's just difficult for managers when your pitchers don't go deep. You got to continually work your bullpen. That's why you like some guys at times to be able to go those 8 innings where your bullpen can get a rest.
Quick toss over to first. Not a big lead by Francisco. Inside, 3-0 to Ruiz. Valdez follows, and then Oswalt's spot. David Herndon has been loosening up in the bullpen. There's Valdez. Herndon's been loosening up in the bullpen for the Phillies.
I think if he gets the opportunity, the right situation to get a few more runs, he might try and pinch hit.
Carlos taking all the way, and he gets a strike. It's 3-1.
One of the things, too, as a club, you want to tack on. You want to get a run here, a run there. Keep pressure on the opposition.
Brad Arnsberg to the phone. The Astros will get somebody up again. Outside, ball 4. First 2 are aboard for the Phillies here in the 6th. Hey fans, next time you want to catch a Phils game, head to StubHub, where you'll find the seats you want and the freedom to choose where you want to sit. StubHub is the official fan-to-fan ticket marketplace of the Phillies. Brad Arnsberg's going out to the mound to talk to Anuri Rodriguez. Phillies have runners on first and second with nobody out here in the 6th. Now the pitcher's spot is due up next, as you see Del Rosario loosening in the pen for the Astros.
Yeah, it will probably, I think, be a bunting situation right here from Valdez. Get those runners at second and third, trying to tack on a few more runs.
Well, they're pulling Pete Orr back. Saw Shane Victorino talking to Charlie Manuel and Pete McCannon. Michael Martinez getting himself ready. There's Victorino. He's got his helmet on, so it looks like he's going to pinch hit for Roy Oswalt. But first, Wilson Valdez will hit. That's a good sign that Victorino is able to pinch hit here this afternoon after leaving yesterday's game with a calf injury.
Well, Astros trying to set their defense. Valdez wanting to bunt the ball to the third baseman, making him field the ball where the only play he has will be at first base.
And he bunts it to third. That is a beauty of a bunt. Johnson's only play is to first. Oh boy, that ball almost ate up Bill Hall. Valdez, I think, felt like Hall pulled his foot off the bag. The sacrifice goes 5-4. And the Phillies have runners on second and third.
I got to tell you, that is about as textbook as you can get for a bunt. Not only did he pull that ball down the third base line, he was able to deaden the ball a little bit as Victorino comes up to the plate.
It's a nice round of applause for Victorino. Pinch hitting this afternoon. Well, Victorino in the right center field gap yesterday, and this ball by Carlos Lee kind of got tied up with Ben Francisco. And he slid to avoid Francisco, but he did make contact with him.
Yeah. And I tell you what, if Francisco's not there, he catches that ball or he gets leather on that ball for sure.
Well, he's fortunate, Francisco is, that he didn't get hurt. Victorino left an inning later with tightness in his calf. They said it wasn't a muscle injury. It was more a back problem. So Rodriguez this afternoon is complete. He'll leave 2 runners in scoring position, and another youngster, Del Rosario, will come on for the Astros. It's time now for our AT&T call to the bullpen. Brad Mills has had to go to his bullpen an awful lot during this series, and he has to go to it once again with the Phils having 2 runners in scoring position. Astros with 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th. But the Phillies up 5-2. They have 2 in scoring position. And he'll face a pinch hitter in Shane Victorino. See what Del Rosario did last night, a strikeout and a hit in 1 inning of work. And it's Victorino who'll pinch hit for Roy Oswalt. The infield is in for Houston.
Yep.
And Victorino just trying to, well, he'll even take a fly ball right here.
Yeah, wants that ball up in the zone a little, not one of those hard sinkers.
And he gets a sinker and he rolls it right through the right side. 1 run will score. Ruiz is held at third. Pence bobbled it. It's an RBI pinch hit single for Victorino, and the Phillies lead it 6-2.
That almost looked like he was limping there going into first base. Victorino, as he picks on that sinker, hits that ball right in the hole. 2 things here. I mean, with that ball going in, I'd like to see him going over there to second base and Victorino. Now, see how he gets out of the box there. That ball in the hole all the way. Now, if you're reading that ball, Pence catches it. You got a good chance to get in there if you can.
So now Michael Martinez 0 for 3 in his major league debut. Now the infield up the middle will shorten up. Johnson, the third baseman, is in a little bit, and now Quintero is out to talk to Del Rosario. Martinez this afternoon has struck out twice, and he's grounded out to first. Brad Mills wandering around the dugout. This series has not gone the way he had hoped it would. Phillies took the first two. They lead this one. And now the fake to third and the throw to first.
Well, Martinez, pretty hard to double up, too. So if he hits that ball on the right side, they had a good chance of getting another run.
Won the count to Martinez. Opposite way, under the glove of Johnson, down the left field line. Ruiz will score. Victorino stops at second, and the Phillies lead it 7-2. And that's his first major league hit, and he smoked it.
Well, he should be getting the ball, I would think, if that's.
There it is, Hunter Wendelstedt.
And they throw it out.
I couldn't imagine that they would have scored that in error. He hit that one right on the nose.
Well, that's a play you shouldn't even be thinking about. That ball's clear right down the line. Look at it right there. That is a. Well, you're right. That could have been scored that way. It did go underneath the glove. I thought it had more slice to that. Nevertheless, he'll take it with an RBI.
First major league hit, first major league RBI. Here's Polanco. The first pitch is outside and low. 1 ball and no strikes. Polanco 1 for 2 with a couple runs scored. He doubled in the third, walked in the first. And they waxed that one right off his foot. Now the Phillies, there was a lot of questions about their offense, and it is only one series, but they have scored 21 runs in these first 3 games. Sarge, the Copters are back.
Yeah, I guess they want to enjoy the game themselves. Just a little loud, though.
Another unscheduled flyover. Charlie giving it a little peek. Phillies have reached double digits in hits again.
Yeah. You know, and you start judging them like even right now. I mean, it's not a situation where you want to wait a while to see if they're going to hit. I mean, when you come from spring training, you want guys to starting to hit that ball.
To shortstop, Sanchez to second for 1, and I don't even know if he had that. Oh boy, they're going to say that's in the exchange. I didn't think Hall even had that ball.
Looked like it hit his glove. And it dropped right out. He was bringing his hand up, but it hit his glove first. I thought, but no argument with Charlie. I mean, I guess he felt he was doing the transfer. Take a look at it again. Pretty solid toss.
Yeah, he never had control.
Well,
everybody should have been safe on that one. I mean, look at that. The ball was bouncing all over that glove.
I don't think Jerry Lane actually saw that part of the play. Other than that, he would have probably called that no catch.
First pitch fastball to Rollins.
Yeah, that ball hit the top of the webbing and it was moving. Never had control of it.
Rollins 2 hits today and 3 at bats. Phillies led it 5-0. Then it was 5-2, and now it's back to a 5-run lead.
Well, you think you get a pretty good pitch now just because of the way Ryan Howard has been hitting the ball today with authority. J-Ro just doesn't want to swing at a bad pitch and just hit it solid.
He got a good pitch there, and he fouled it off. He was a little late on it. And it's even now 2-2.
See, then your hitting counts, you don't want to be late. That's a pitch there you want to be able to handle. Right there in his zone.
Well, that means that Polanco will be off and running on this pitch with 2 outs. And runners on first and third. And the count 3 balls and 2 strikes to Rollins.
That pitch right at 91. 2-seamer at movement.
Polanco goes outside, ball 4. The bases are loaded. They can kind of sense the drama here with the kind of day that Howard has had. He's 3 for 3 with 4 RBIs. The bases are loaded in the bottom of the 6th. The Phillies are up 7-2.
Well, looking for a triple.
And he lays off the first pitch.
I think that ball would have to do some bouncing around out there for that to happen.
Ryan lines it, and it's caught by Bill Hall. And the side is retired. Howard was looking for his 17th career triple. He was at least looking for an RBI. He hit it right on the nose. The Phillies lead it by 5. Well, the Verizon Wireless game summary for this afternoon. The Phillies lead at 7-2. Hunter Pence really has the only offense for the Astros. Phillies got to Bud Norris with 5 earned runs in 4 innings. Ryan Howard, he's had a good day. He nearly had an even better day with his last at bat. And Roy Oswalt's day is done, Wheels. 6 innings, 5 hits. He pitched well this afternoon.
Yeah, he sure did. First start out, he had real good command of his fastball early in the game. You know, veteran pitchers, young pitchers, anybody likes to pitch with a lead. Phillies went out and got him a lead, and that certainly helps a guy like Roy Oswalt, who's just going to go out there and methodically get it done when he has a lead like that.
Well, David Herndon takes over here in the 7th with a 5-run lead. Humberto Quintero is the first batter. See Herndon's numbers on opening day. He allowed a couple of runs and 2 hits in an inning of work. Quintero skies one to center. Victorino stayed in the ball game, so he is manning center field. And he puts it away, one away.
It's an important part for a game for David Herndon, too. Because, you got to come in here with a 5-run lead or do the best you can and just get outs and get this game over with. They probably like him to pitch a couple innings. Don't allow a bunch of base runners. Don't let the Astros even think about getting back into the game. And, bounce back after a tough opening day appearance.
Well, Jason Bourgeois will pinch hit for the Astros, as he will pinch hit for the pitcher's spot. Bourgeois had a good spring after playing with the Astros a season ago. And it's 1 ball, no strikes. He came on a pinch run in the opener and then finished the game out in left field for Houston. He rolls one to second. So Herndon has the first 2 outs here in the top of the 7th. These lucky fans are today's Citizens 7. They will each receive a prize pack courtesy of Citizens Bank. Citizens Bank with the most 7-day branches in the Philadelphia area. To find a branch near you, visit citizensbank.com. 2 outs, top of the order. Michael Bourne is due up. He's 0 for 2. He walked back in the 5th. Bourne out of the University of Houston was originally drafted by the Astros, didn't sign, then drafted by the Phillies, and wound up back with his hometown team.
Yeah, it's been nice for Michael to go back and play for his hometown team, growing up in suburban Houston.
Now the Toyota Major League scoreboard. The Reds are all over the Brewers, 12-3. Ryan Hennigan has 3 hits.
Ron Renicky looking for his first win as their new manager, and he thought he had it on opening day, and then roof fell in the 9th inning on them.
Yeah, the Reds have taken the first 2 games of that series as Bourne checks his swing, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. To left center field. Victorino has a long way to go. Sore calf and all, and he got there. He makes the catch going away. And the side is retired. A good inning for David Herndon. Astros are retired in order. It's time to stretch here in Philadelphia with the Phillies up 5. Name the 2 current Phillies pitchers who have Olympic gold medals.
One way to approach these trivia questions is to try and just understand the situation.
All right, what's the situation?
I think Roy Oswalt was an Olympic.
Roy Oswalt is correct. And he won a gold medal in the year 2000.
And the other thing is I was going over the roster with all these international players.
Phillies have some, yep.
And I don't know if it happened at the Olympics, but this guy defected at one point, in international play.
Two guys defected.
Right, but the one I'm thinking of for the answer is the closer, Jose Contreras.
Jose Contreras would be correct. Back in 1996, Cuba won the gold medal in the Olympic Games in Atlanta. Log back on to Phillies.com to find out if you're the winner of a Phillies prize pack. Thanks for playing Dodge. Stump the Fans. And
I don't know. You'll have to look up the media guy where he actually defected from. I don't know, but just thinking that way, it had a chance.
Well, way to work it through. Did you watch any of the game in the middle innings?
I didn't miss so. I'm hanging on your every word back there.
Mark Mellinson is the new pitcher for the Astros as he takes over here in the bottom of the 7th. Phillies are on top 7-2, trying to finish off a sweep of the Astros. That's all these two teams did last year, is sweep each other. The Phillies swept Houston in Texas, and then the Astros came here and swept the Phillies. And the series sweep here in Philadelphia by the Astros, well, left the Phillies limping a little bit, but they were able to rebound. Well, they're not limping this weekend.
Well, that ninth inning win really loosened everybody up. Shane Victorino didn't think his injury was very serious, and certainly can see that he's running just fine. Michael Bourne, he had some words when he came by. Watch this. Take that one away from you, buddy. That's what you do to a lot of people. And Michael Bourne can go catch him with anybody.
Here's Ibanez to lead it off, and he takes one on the outside corner. No balls and 1 strike. Ibanez 0 for 3. He's grounded out twice. Once to first, once to in a fielder's choice in the 5th to second. And he hits it to second again. Bill Hall is there. And 1 away. Well, Ben Francisco is due up, and he's had himself a good afternoon. He's 2 for 3 with a couple runs scored, a home run, and a very nice catch out in right field. He beat up the scoreboard on that catch.
St. Louis didn't look like they had an opponent.
No. Cardinals are currently leading the Padres 1-0.
Boy, they need a win with all the problems they have out there.
Yeah, Matt Holliday, after having a good day on opening day, has his appendix removed the next day. So they're without him. And it's 2 balls and no strikes to Francisco. Speaking of that game, St. Louis leads at 1-0. Yadier Molina has an RBI. That game's in the top of the 7th. And Wheels, the appendectomy must be going around, because Jerry O'Connor from the Phillies front office, he had his appendix out just the other day, and he is recovering. Now, Matt Holliday, they said, was supposed to go right to the ballpark the next day after the surgery. They thought he might even come today at some point.
They can do things quicker and less invasive than they used to do them.
I guess so.
But not that.
There's a strike on the inside corner.
An appendix is one of those organs that he can get rid of. Mine taken out was about 6. Really? One of those emergency appendectomies. Yeah, they're serious. They can be serious.
Well, Jerry is recovering right now. We wish Jerry the best, as Francisco has his 3rd hit of the day.
Good job by Ben this afternoon. Good play in the outfield. Swinging the bat very well.
Well, it's a nice start. He had a good spring. He needed to have a good spring to win the job in right.
There it is. Pitches away from him, and he hits it right over Bill Hall's head at second base and into right center field. Nice piece of hitting with a pitch away from him like that.
3 3-hit games last season, and now he has his first of 2011. Now Ruiz will bat with 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th. Phillies up 5. Ruiz has walked and scored. He has struck out. He's grounded back to the pitcher. A little bit of something from just about everybody in the Phillies lineup today.
Yeah, and you wonder, if they get to the bottom of the order and they get some men on, will they hit for Herndon? And there's the answer. They have Kyle Kendrick ready.
Kendrick working out of the pen this year. Down and away, 2-1. Phillies will have the off day tomorrow. And then the Mets will be in town Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Cole Hamels will make his first start of the season on Tuesday. He'll be opposed by Chris Young. There's Cole. And then Wednesday, Joe Blanton gets the start.
Chris Young trying to come back from a lot of arm miseries.
In the air to right field. It's carrying pretty well. It brings Pence back to the track. Now there are 2 outs. Join Major League Baseball and the Major League Baseball Players Association in helping Japan's children in need. Visit unicef.org or text Japan to 864-233 to donate $10. Standard text messaging and transactional fees apply. For more information, visit MLB.com/Japan Relief. Mentioned yesterday, there are 11 Japanese-born ball players currently on Major League rosters. And Ichiro donated more than $1 million to the relief, the aid in Japan, as the folks in Japan try to recover from that magnitude 9 earthquake several weeks ago and tsunami. New York Times had a story yesterday about the earthquake and how the Japanese folks are recovering, and it's going to be a long time before they fully recover. And it's sad to see, but Major League Baseball and a lot of the players are doing a tremendous job. So are the fans in helping raise money for not only UNICEF but also the Red Cross and a number of other organizations helping out in Japan.
They have no idea what the death toll is over there.
Nope.
So many people missing, may have been swept out to sea. Now they have to deal with all this radioactive material. As you say, this is a long way back for the country of Japan.
The baseball season was put on hold, at least to start, over in Japan. Here's Victorino, who singled home run as a pinch hitter his first time up. And that pitch is high. It's 1-0. To the right side again. Wallace flips it underhand to first in time to get Victorino, and the side is retired. No runs, a couple hits, 2 men left for the Phillies. We've completed 7 here in Philadelphia. The Fanatic and the Phils lead it by 5. Southwest Airlines. Southwest Airlines do rapid rewards, unlimited reward seats, and no blackout dates. Buy Budweiser. Great times are waiting. Grab some buds. And buy Jeep brand. We don't just make SUVs. We make history. Well, Fanatic just finished up the dance on the dugout, much to the delight of the fans, who have settled in to watch the Phillies go for the series sweep today against the Astros, and they lead at 7-2. Be pretty nice to begin the year with a sweep.
Yeah, there were a lot of years, even in these good years the Phillies have had. There were years they started out terrible. 1-5 one year. It may have been in 07 or 08.
Sanchez to third. Ball stays down on Polanco. One away.
Just what they want out of David Herndon. Outs, quick outs, and they get into the off day.
Well, this is what the Phillies rotation has done the first 3 days of the season. How about one walk wheels in 19 innings?
One walk, yeah. That was when Roy Oswalt had a walk here this afternoon. None from Cliffley, none from Roy Halladay on opening day, and some strikeouts mixed in there.
And Cole Hamels will take the ball on Tuesday night. Inside the Pens. It's 1-0. Well, if the Phillies wind up winning today, it'll be the first time since 1970 that the Phillies begin the season with a home sweep. And they beat the Cubs in the 2-game series, and then the Pirates in the first game of a 3-game set at Connie Mack Stadium.
Yep, that was the last year, Connie Mack, 1970.
Amazing.
Well, they don't win the opener very often at home. So that is tough to sweep somebody.
I shouldn't say sweep. Win their first 3 games.
Win their first 3 games, yeah. Right, because there was 2 teams there, as you said. But they have not been a real good opening day team over the years. Good teams or bad teams. Doesn't seem to matter. They lose the opener.
3-1 the count to Hunter Pence. He's 3 for 3 today.
Trying to take a little walk right now. He's trying to develop that slider, and that was just a spinner he just threw out of his hand there. Nothing that that he can look at and say, well, that had a chance to be a good pitch. Bread and butter is a heavy sinker.
Pop a foul, and out of play. It's 3-2.
Like that kind of makes a thud sound as it ran in on the hands of Hunter Pence. Probably was ball 4, but Pence is a wild swing. Guy's got a lot of talent, though. He's a tools player. He can do things. He can throw. He can run. He's got some power. But nothing looks good. Look at that swing right there. These feet are flying all over the place. But then he'll take a pitch like that away from him, and it looks like he's way off balance. He'll hit it out of the ballpark to right field.
Like he did with Roy Oswalt earlier in the game.
Yeah.
3 balls, 2 strikes the count to Pence. He swung late at that and just got a piece of it.
Here's that home run off Roy in the 5th inning. Went away. He tried to go away. Probably caught too much of the plate. And he hits it out the other way.
There's Nelson Figueroa, who taught David Herndon the grip of the slider that he currently throws. When Figueroa was in the bullpen last year with the Phillies, and I was asking David about that. I said, we were talking about your slider, which has gotten so much better. And I was talking about how Chad Durbin really helped you with it. He goes, yeah, Durbin helped me with it. He goes, it was Figueroa that showed me the grip. And he took a ball out of his locker. And what they did is they sketched the fingers where Herndon's supposed to grip the ball so he would never forget. To right field, not that deep. Francisco comes in. 2 outs.
You could figure out a way to do that with your golf swing. You could get it in the same plane all the time.
Well, it was funny because he was talking about how Figueroa taught him the grip. And, Durbin taught him the arm slot and the way he delivers it. He said Brad Lidge helped him with, how he's supposed to throw it overall. I said, so it was a pretty educational year last season. He said, oh, yeah, it was a unbelievably educational year last year.
And there's one of them right there, and he didn't get what he wants out of it. But, yeah, he keeps working on there. Nelson Figueroa, who will start the 5th game of the season, I guess, for the Astros.
There's Brad, who has as good a slider as anybody. Lee lifts it in the air down the left field line. Long run for Ibanez. He slides and he missed it. That is a foul ball.
Yeah, as you say, it's a long run, and he figured he was going to go into a slide there because that wall was coming up. And he has a lot of momentum here because he had a long run. See, take one last look, knows where the wall is, and then goes into the slide, kind of overruns it.
Works it in with that sinker. 2-1 the count to Lee. Lee's popped out to Howard at first. He's been hit by a pitch, reached on a fielder's choice and scored.
That was a better breaking ball there because it had some tilt to it. The other ones he's been throwing so far, most of them kind of just spinners and not doing what he wants them to do. And what we saw him do in spring training when he had a better bite to it.
Trying to finish off his second inning of relief work. Oh boy, he nearly finished off his second inning with that pitch there. Just didn't come back enough.
Yeah, it was a breaking ball, kind of looped the plate. Probably not a strike. See where, even where your Carlos Ruiz catch, he's trying to frame it, but he moved it
over toward the hole and right on by Polanco. I don't think Rollins saw that. Not that he was going to get to it, but Jimmy didn't even move.
Yeah, it may have come out of the shirts behind home plate and you didn't see it.
Hey, the Nationals will be here for a first time beginning Tuesday, May 3rd. It's 3 night games in a row, all 3 7:05. There's a Hatfield Dollar Dog Night on Tuesday the 3rd. You can get your tickets now by going to Phillies.com. Fanatic was out earlier in the ball game shooting some hot dogs to the crowd. Thanks to Hatfield.
Amazing how far some of those hot dogs can go out of that thing.
That's CO2, Wheels.
Really? Shoots it in the upper deck?
Bill Hall is the hitter with 2 away. And Jimmy saw that one. To his right. He's got it. Throws to second. The short way. Lee is retired. And so is the side here in the 8th. No runs, a hit, 1 man left. Nice job by David Herndon. 2 scoreless innings. There you go, Wheels, coming right on at you. Shooting some hot dogs into your TV set. New batting practice jersey and other authentic collection apparel. The Majestic Clubhouse store at Citizens Bank Park open daily from 10 a.m. until 6 p.m. Saw Scott Brandreth today, who's in charge of the Phillies merchandising. He does such a great job. So does his crew, and that store is beautiful. And if you get a chance, you can pick up all those jerseys that those folks are wearing out in Ashburn Alley. And you can do so at the Majestic Clubhouse store, Mitchell and Ness Alley store when you're here at the ballpark. In fact, that's a little old school right there. You can pick up at Mitchell and Ness. Jeff Fulcino is the new pitcher for the Astros as we begin the bottom of the 8th. Fulcino got hit with a line drive off the bat of Jimmy Rollins yesterday. He'll face Ross Gload, who's pinch hitting for David Herndon. Gload is 1 for 2 as a pinch hitter. And he starts him off with a pitch low. It's 1-0.
Yeah, 2 things with the lead the way it is right now that they can do. They can use Ross Gload, get him an at bat here as a pinch hitter, and they get Kyle Kendrick an inning of work.
Gload tried to check his swing. There's an appeal, and he went around, says Bob Davidson. 1-1 the count. Well, so far the Phillies have really accomplished a lot of good things in this 3-game series. I mean, you push the first 6 innings of Friday's game aside, and the offense has done its job.
We talk about the Reds getting the momentum they've had for this weekend from their win on opening day in the 9th inning. Here's the Phillies, the same thing. They looked like they were dead in the water. First game, Jimmy Rollins has had a big weekend, and you know, they win that game, everybody's feeling good, and you come out the next 2 days and it's loosey-goosey time swinging the bat. It's amazing how much this game is between the ears.
Well, Ben Francisco also has had himself a good weekend. Glowed back toward the middle, a spinner on one hop to Sanchez.
Chino saying, "Take the ball away from me." What's going on in this park? Jimmy Rollins really nailed him last night.
There's Jimmy. We were talking yesterday about how Joey Manuel was trying to make him laugh after he hit that liner back to Fulcino, which Charlie normally can do, particularly with Rollins. And he wasn't able to make him laugh.
No, I was asking him about that this morning during the show, and he said he was really ticked off. He said he wanted that 3rd hit. Charlie says, I like that. I said, yeah, I tried to lighten it up a little bit, but he didn't want to hear it.
Polanco down to the count, no balls and 2 strikes. Well, a couple of the other things too, Wheels, you know, throughout this series, the Phillies have gotten as advertised starting pitching. I mean, Halladay was very good on Friday. Lee was electric last night. Oswalt was sturdy today. Cole Hamels will go on Tuesday. You know, so that's a good part of this first weekend. And situationally, they've done their job with the offense.
Very little has happened this weekend where you go, oh, that was bad. You know, a few things. If you play 27 innings of baseball, the odds are 25 or whatever they're going to play, hopefully, with not having to worry about the last at bat. You look at some areas and say, well, that was awful, but that really hasn't happened this weekend.
Well, for Polanco, it's his 2nd hit of the day, and it looks like it's going to be his 2nd double of the day. Jason Michaels, who just entered the ball game for the Astros and left, pulls it out of the corner.
You know, they had a 2nd and 3rd no out today. Didn't get a run. That wasn't good. But you go back over the whole weekend, and for the most part, they have executed, played pretty well. Here's that hit by Pasi Polanco, pulls the arms in and lines a double into the left field corner.
Well, and the Astros will leave Philadelphia today and head to Cincinnati, where we said the Reds have a little momentum. They'll have an off day tomorrow in Cincinnati, and then they open up the series against the Reds on Tuesday.
Tough for, you know, they're a young team trying to make some things happen, and this is a tough series for them because they come out and they think they have the first game won. They executed very well. Brett Myers did a great job. We're going to be 1-0. And you lose a tough game. There's Brett. You lose a tough game. The next thing you know, you might nip out of town 0-3 and off to a slow start.
One and one the count to Rollins, who's been on base 3 times today. Phillies with 5 extra base hits. They had 4 doubles in the first 2 games of the series, but today they have a couple of home runs to go along with Polanco's 2 doubles and Howard's double. A little low, and it's 3-1.
Just really patient right now. Jimmy Rollins seeing the ball out. Anybody, whoever's out there, he's seeing it out of their hand really well. Almost all his at bats left-handed.
Ball 4, and Ryan Howard will have another chance at the cycle. And he'll bat with runners on first and second. Hey, stay tuned for John Clark and Mike Missinelli and Phillies postgame live from the Sugar House Casino. Catch all the highlights and insights, plus a look ahead at the 2011 season right after the game on PHL 17. Marty Bystrom is here at the park. Marty was looking good. He was all dressed up. I said, "Are you on the postgame show today?" He said, "Yeah, I'm doing interviews." So he'll be doing the interviews for the postgame show. Here's Howard, 16 career triples, and number 17 would give him a cycle.
Well, he's really had good swings today. That out he made was scorched.
On the hands, Michaels, a long run. He looked down at Johnson, battling the wind. Oh boy, it's off his glove. And with one out, Polanco had a hold, so he's going to be forced out at third. The putout goes 6-1 at third. Michaels looked down, and at that point he was in trouble.
The old 6-1. You see a lot of those, don't you?
Well, I guess the play would go 7-6-1, wouldn't it?
Well, yeah, because he touches it.
So 7-6-1. Jay Dunn, we just heard him as we were talking about that, come over the internal loudspeaker.
Here's Jason Michaels. Now the wind starts taking it away from him, and can't get it. And then the shortstop picks it up, and the pitcher Fulcino is going to cover. That thing was so high, and you know now Jason Michaels is basically in left center field.
He's lucky it didn't hit him square in the face.
Look at the big outfielder's glove. He protected himself. He wanted to catch that baby.
Two 2-0 the count to Ibanez with 2 on. 3-0.
The whole thing in baseball about a 3-0 green light and what the score is, and I think this is. Oh, not the bases loaded. Excuse me. There the out was at third. Somebody was screaming at somebody at the end of spring training. Oh, it was
Jake Fox.
LaRussa got involved in one.
Well, it was Jake Fox, and with the Orioles. 3-0 green light. His team was up big. Bases were loaded, and he went swinging for the downs. And it was his own manager, Buck Showalter.
You don't do that.
Yeah, Jim Leland was the opposing manager. He was upset. Buck Showalter was seething in the dugout at Jake Fox.
And his own player.
Well, it turned out, I think it was like 10-1 at one point when he did it. The game finished up, I think 11-9. It was a close game.
Right.
Still a spring training game.
Still don't do it.
I don't know. I never know in this day and age how many runs is enough. Here's Francisco.
Well, that's a problem in some of the parks you play in and pitching and all that. You're right about the runs, but you know it's hard to think about it that way. He used to have a way of finding out if that situation was bad, and that was we'd ask Gray Tipton or whoever was directing the game at the time. Shoot Vuk over the dugout. And let's see what his reaction was. And if the veins were sticking out in his neck, thought they shouldn't have been swinging 3-0.
0-2 to Francisco with the bases loaded, and he stays alive.
Because he would, Vuk, you know, he played the game the old school way. That was the way that they did it, and you know, you could usually tell he would be a very good barometer for what the feeling of the dugout was at the time.
Francisco's down on strike, so Fulcino works out of a bases loaded jam here in the 8th. No runs, a couple of hits, 3 men left for the Phillies. On to the 9th and on to the series sweep. 2 as we go to the top of the ninth. And every time the Phillies retire the opposing team 1, 2, 3, Comcast will make a contribution to Phillies charities. It's happened twice today. Phillies baseball is brought to you by the Xfinity Triple Play, your complete lineup for digital TV and HD, lightning fast internet, and home phone. Kyle Kendrick comes on to try to finish this off here in the ninth. And Kendrick last year won 11 games for the Phillies, primarily as a starter, a 4.73 ERA. He worked as a starter for most of the spring. And he is technically the long man for the Phillies, getting some work today, and he delivers a pitch a little low to Brett Wallace. And it's 1-0. Nice job by David Herndon. 2 scoreless innings for Herndon. He allowed a hit.
And just 1 base runner.
A little high, and it's 2-0.
And they got him to the 9th inning with a 5-run lead. And Charlie Manuel and Rich Doobie's game plan right now is nobody else gets up. That's up to Kyle Kendrick to make it happen. Just wants him to throw strikes.
Well, there he goes. 3-1. Wallace laid on that sinker, and it's 3-2. Kendrick has been fooling around with a different grip for his changeup, and like a lot of pitchers, he's decided to go to the same grip that he holds his fastball, just a little deeper in his hand. And sometimes that helps a little bit with your arm slot and with the way you release the ball. You can fool the hitter a little bit more, but also mentally make yourself feel better about the way it goes.
Yeah, and he'd probably take a finger off it or split his fingers or something, because you have to do something, because you can't throw it with a total fastball grip that you're used to, because you can't slow your arm up.
Right. I guess it's almost like a split, but not, the ball isn't as deep into your fingers.
You have to do something like that, so that you can have the same arm speed, but the ball doesn't come out of your hand like a fastball.
And that just missed. Must have been a little high. It looked like it came back. And a base runner for the Astros to lead off the ninth. Now, it's only the 3rd walk given up by Phillies pitchers this series, and that's been great. I mean, you think about free passes, you just don't want to give the other team any free chances, and the Phillies certainly have not done that this series. Chris Johnson takes one at the knees. It's 0-1.
Well, one thing you don't want is a leadoff walk there. You don't even want these guys to smell around, let alone get one going here.
The Phillies starters have done their job. A liner to left center field. On the run is Ibanez, and it gets by him. Wallace to 3rd.
Whoa. How about that? He didn't get a double.
I was surprised by that. He fouled that ball off his knee.
Yeah, that's what happened
earlier in the game, and I just don't think he's running that well.
He's just not running at all, because that ball's easily a double. And now you have the double play still in order. Johnson really smokes that ball in left center field, and they're right there about 3 steps into his gate. His leg started, or his foot started bottom, or his leg where he beat that ball off, and he just put the brakes on then.
Runners on 1st and 3rd. Here's Quintero. Rich Doobie went to the phone, and they've got Contreras sort of loosening, stretching out in the bullpen.
And you got to get somebody up now, which is just what they didn't want to do, was have to warm anybody else up, let alone use them.
There's Contreras. You do have the off day tomorrow, but still.
Well, of course, Kyle Kendrick wanted to do that too. He didn't come in here and start giving up base runners and make people start to squirm a little bit.
One ball, 1 strike to count. To the middle. Rollins over. He'll take it to second himself. There's a double play. A run scores.
It's because the guy couldn't run.
Yep.
If there's a double there's a run in, and another guy over at third. But that kept the double play in order because Johnson can't run.
Yeah, you can see he's running with a little bit of a gimp right there. And Jason Michaels will face Kendrick with 2 outs here at the top of the ninth. Phillies lead it 7-3. Michaels came on to play left field as part of a double switch in the bottom of the 8th. And it's even 1 ball and 1 strike. A reminder after the ball game, John Clark and Mike Missinelli will have our post-game show. That's coming up on PHL 17. Marty Bystrom will be here at the ballpark doing some interviews. And now the Phillies and Kendrick 1 strike away from finishing off the series sweep. This weekend's been memorable in so many ways. Record crowds. More than 136,000 have watched Phillies baseball this weekend, including 45,562 today. The 1-2 pitch in the dirt. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Well, son, you're just used to this team winning all the time, aren't you?
There is a generation.
Oh, it's great. They don't know.
2-2 the count. Kendrick in the wind. To right field. Francisco dead in his tracks, makes the grab, and for the first time since 1970, the Phillies have won their first 3 games to open the season at home as they complete the sweep of the Houston Astros. 7-3 the final score. Ryan Howard, a huge afternoon, a great start to the 2011 season. Ben Francisco also with a pretty good weekend for the Phillies, helping to lead this Phillies offense. So a nice weekend all the way around. The starters did their job. Ben Francisco, our Chevrolet player of the game, 3 for 5, a home run and 2 runs scored. Joey Manuel didn't like the first 6 or so innings on Friday, but he certainly has liked every inning since. And the Astros will head to Cincinnati as they'll search for their first victory here in 2011. No, Wheels, Phillies finally went yards this afternoon.
Yeah, talking about Phillies hadn't hit a home run yet. Here comes Ryan Howard, the second time in his major league career that he's hit a 3-0 pitch out of the ballpark, and no doubt about that one. Almost hit one later in the game off the top of the ball, and then Ben Francisco comes up later on in the inning, and he gets a fastball that he hits out. So they went from no home runs to 2 home runs in a hurry.
So Ben Francisco with his first home run of the season. And he had himself a heck of a weekend offensively. And he's down on the field with Sarge. Sarge, take it away.
Hey, guys, thanks a lot. Ben, you continue to hit that ball from spring training on. You got to feel good about that.
Yeah, I worked hard in the offseason and came to spring training, had some good results. And, so far so good here early going.
Are you concentrating more on just hitting the ball hard? Or I know it's your first time in a while and like playing every day, but pressure hitting behind Ryan Howard, are you concentrating hitting the ball hard or, trying to hit the ball out of the ballpark? What's your philosophy?
Just stay within myself. I'm not trying to do too much. You can't worry about where you're hitting or who's ahead of you. Just getting a good pitch to hit and putting a good swing on it. That's my focus right now.
How about in right field? You made an excellent catch in going back. It's going to take time to get used to it, or you think you're used to it already?
I'm used to it. I just got to get my feet wet out there a little bit. I'm confident in my defense. I know I'll be okay out there. I had a rough start, but I feel good out there.
Well, you got your first home run today. You got 3 hits today. Continued success. Hope to have you on the show many more times.
All right, appreciate it.
All right, guys, right back to you.
All right, Sarge, thank you very much. Here's the catch they were just talking about. Francisco into the scoreboard. He knocked the lights out of San Diego.